welcome to this brief expose about agriculture, and not just agriculture but organic agriculture, whereby our abled, youthful, energetic gentleman here does agriculture in the compound, and that is a perfect maximization of place, perfect maximization of space to be able to do agriculture and produce vegetables of all sorts. So we're going to take you straight to him, and he's going to introduce himself.
So good evening, I'm Eliud Makelekandagi. Welcome to my farm where I do organic agriculture, and we shall be going through the farm to see what I do. And I hope we shall get 1, 2, 3 things that we can utilize in our farms and in our small communities.
So, Mr. Eric, it's good to have you. We appreciate that you've welcomed us to your farm, and it's beautiful. It's great to see such big cabbages as they appear on the screen and as they appear physically, and just like that. So, would you kindly tell us how you started this? What motivated you, and what is it all about? What came into your mind?
Basically, I started farming when I was a young man, basically back in my primary school. However, I didn't do intensive agriculture like I'm doing today, and maybe probably because of the structure of the education system in Kenya, I was not able to do an intensive agriculture because I was in school and back home. I didn't have enough time to do this. Basically, after Corona came, unfortunately, I was able to settle down in my home compound. I thought of innovative ideas of how I can use our small compound to feed the family in a sustainable way, and also give myself something to use as I do my daily activities over here.
Wow, that is awesome. That sounds so good, especially with the changes in economic changes, atmospheric changes as well. And as you mentioned Corona, and it really took people, so many people back home with a lot of nothing to do, because maybe they got retrenched from work, or they also lost their jobs by one way or the other. And therefore, this is quite key, because you found something to do, you found something to utilize with your time. And so far, so good, because looking around here, I can see a lot of vegetables. I can see a lot of, I can see a fish pond over there. I can see sukuma wiki. This is excellent. This is awesome. And now that you've told us about how you started, what motivated you, now have you faced any challenges so far?
Yes, of course. Farming is not a walk in the park. I usually say that to many people, because most of the time we face a lot of challenges. Probably the nature of our climate is too harsh. We have fungal diseases attacking the vegetables. I also have challenges in finances. Basically, to start up, as you can see, I only have one fish pond, and I would like to have many fish ponds in the same compound. But unfortunately, because of the finances, I'm not able to move to that kind of capital.
Okay.
Of course, you can start small, and you can go to great heights starting small. As you can see, I'm having my second pond preparing meat, so that I can also have some fish. And also, I also decided to increase the size of parcel that I'm using for the farming activities. So probably I would say finances and some pests, and all those are the major challenges that I'm facing as partner.
Okay. That is quite ambitious, because now basically that means if you are provided with finances, and of course you are able to control the pest, because the control of pests, of course, usually it falls back to how much finance is there to be able to organize yourself and provide pesticides, or like you mentioned, you're doing organic. That means now what finance is there to be able now to prepare and provide organically modified pesticides. All right.
Yes.
Yes, so that is awesome. That is great, and maybe we should walk around and see what is there as we continue.
Maybe.
Now, Mr. Adrian, looking at your vegetables here, I can see spinach, I can see leafy onions, and just looking keenly, I see that you've had a lot of manure right inside there. Now, would you really tell us how do you control pests organically? Because ideally, when you talk of organic farming, in my understanding, you don't spray, you don't apply fertilizer or something like that.
Sure.
So, can you kindly tell us how do you control pesticides organically?
Okay, for pest control, I use begonia, and it is a traditional plant that I use to prepare the organic fertilizer. I also use the water from the fish pond to prepare the seed, because the water from the fish pond is highly nitrogenous, and therefore it is very highly important for spinach, because spinach highly requires high levels of nitrogen.
Okay.
And, that's why I'm using the fish pond. If you realize clearly that every plant that is in this compound is of importance to the same farm. And that is the necessity of the organic system, because it is an integrated system. As you can see, the leafy onion will produce a gas that will be able to repel the insects in the spinach farm. And therefore, that will be very important to reduce the number of pests that are in the farm. I can also be able to reduce the amount of cash that I'm using to go to buy pesticides, as opposed to other farmers who go to buy pesticides on a daily activities. Another reason why I'm going organic, it is because first I'm feeding my family, of which it is good to feed on something that is healthy, that is not full of pesticides.
Yeah.
And therefore, I also cater for the health sector of every person. And therefore, even my customers are happy because they are everyone's catered for.
Exactly.
And, so that is basically how I'm controlling the pest. It is of great importance to go organic.
To be honest, I didn't know that when you integrate plants like this, like what I'm seeing right now, the leafy onions and the spinach, that the leafy onions, by the smell that is coming out of, or rather, that's being emanated by the onions, it is useful to repel the insect. I didn't know that, but now I know, thanks to you. That is excellent. Wow, and you've also told us about the fish pond, the water from the fish pond that is also highly nitrogenous, and that, of course, now it helps to control the pests, or that soil based.
No, it is basically to improve the health-wise of the instead of buying the foliar feed, I use the begonia plus
the fertilizer bit of it. Instead of using the fertilizer, the organic fertilizer, you use the inorganic fertilizer, that is the water from the fish pond, that is highly nitrogen. What would you like to tell the youths? What advice do you have as far as youth and farming is concerned?
Okay, basically I tell the youths not to shun away from farming. It is paying. You can earn something from the farming. I'm sorry, it is something that I never told you. I'm a graduate, a recent graduate. Despite that I'm venturing in farming, I'm also a scholar.
Okay.
So I would advise many youths not to shun away from farming, because it is paying, but you can earn something. So my advice to the youth is that, like I said there before, that farming is not a walk in the park. But if you give it absolute care, if you give it absolute commitment, you can get something out of it, and therefore it can be able to help us even achieve the big four agenda of the president, that we can be able to feed our families, we can also be able to cater for our finances, and even improve the economy of the nation. And therefore, I would advise the youth to venture and basically to an integrated system where you're not using a lot of finances to support your farming system. And that is basically the advice that I would give to the youth.
Wow, I mean, that sounds awesome. That is a question about you being a recent graduate, and yeah, that is that is it takes my breath away because most of the graduates do not want to indulge in the soil and get dirty. But then again, you are there, perfect example of having been a graduate, and not just a graduate, but someone who's a first class holder. Yeah. So if you allow me to mention that, basically, you've just set a very good example, and this is to the youth, that you can do what you put your mind into, right? All right. Now, you didn't say something about fish pond and how you came about it. What would you like to say about it?
How you can
move closer to
the fish pond, so that you can see the setup of the fish pond. As you can see, it's a list fish pond. It is not similar to other types of fish pond. Probably there are many reasons why I chose such kind of a fish pond, and probably because of some of the predators. And also, I want to use this water to do my irrigation, and therefore with this rice, it is easier to do the irrigation.
Yeah, because you sort of pump it all.
Pump it all. I can direct the water through gravity, and then I can be able to farm.
Did you just mention gravity?
Absolutely.
That is awesome.
So I'm using a timber and some of the posts, and down there it's concrete, and therefore I'm able to keep the fish there, and I also enjoy the delicacy of the fish sometimes. So it's amazing.
So basically, when you talk of organic farming, you want to make sure that you are having vitamins from vegetables, proteins from fish pond, from your compound.
Absolutely.
And this is just amazing. This is amazing, and this is quite visionary. This is quite something to look forward to. Yes, I mean, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for allowing us to be here and enjoy the ambience of vegetables in the compound. At least just a tip of the iceberg. I want to believe. Yes, sure. Exactly. So that was Mr. Elliot, and he was telling us how he's undertaking, or rather how he's doing agriculture on another level. All sorts of vegetables, as you have seen in the compound. You've seen cabbages, you've seen leafy onions. We have passion fruits. Then we've also visited the fish pond. The fish that are right inside there, they're growing up, and they're developing so fast because the vegetables that you've been able to see, the cabbages, and you've seen as big as my head, or bigger than my head. The cabbages are bigger than my head. Comfortable taking the meals, you're comfortable having these fruits every day, every minute of your life.